What is up, YouTube? This is EbbenMagician34 with another edition of The Edge. And today we're going to celebrate the release of Double Crisis by looking at one of its cards. One of the ones that may not have necessarily gotten on your radar right away. It's Magma Pointer. Magma Pointer is one of those tool cards that you can equip to a Pokemon that gives it an extra attack. Now, of course, this one only works on Team Magma Pokemon, but it gives them an attack that for one fighting energy lets them deal 20 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon, ignoring weakness and resistance for your opponent's benched Pokemon. So, in some ways it may seem like kind of a slightly less versatile version of Muscle Band, but there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. For one thing, this card can be great with cards like Team Magma Zangoose. Team Magma Zangoose has a Call for Family attack, which is what you'll probably want to use first, but once you've dropped some Pokemon onto your bench to get ready for Team Magma's Groudon, after that, he kind of sits there and might not be too useful. Unless you feel like putting all 3 energy in to get the team play off for some heavy damage, in some ways Team Magma Zangoose might not be doing too much, and you might be sacking him off after a couple of turns of letting your opponent set up. And that's not cool, because we can probably put him to much better use than that. With Magma Pointer, once you use his first attack, which you'll probably only have to use once, you can start putting 20 damage on things here and there, which might just seem like chip damage that doesn't necessarily mean anything until you really think about part of what Team Magma really wants to do, which is get Team Magma's Groudon EX out. Okay, yeah, you can use Garbodor and things like that to get around his ability, but we can also just play it straight the way it's supposed to be, because after all, it's not that hard to get it done. And this guy is quite the wrecking ball, and if we can focus more on getting his attack up than just trying to negate his ability, we can probably do quite a bit. Tagging people with this 20 damage from Magma Pointer essentially allows his Magma Quake to knock out anything that's not a Mega. Magma Quake is a lot like Feraligator's Second Strike. It deals 80 damage, but if the opposing Pokemon already has any damage on it, it takes 80 additional. So basically think of it as a 160 point attack against things that already have damage. Factor in this 20 points right here, and that's 180. KO. Of course, there are other cards that can help you set up that damage, but I think we can actually do even more if we're really thinking about it. First of all, we can always just Magma Pointer this guy if he's our active Pokemon and we can get enough Pokemon down or get around his ability, and that way he'll have something to do during those turns before he actually gets his 4 energy together for Magma Quake, which is nice. Now, this card seems like one of the main competitions for Magma Pointer. Team Magma Secret Base. Anytime your opponent attaches an energy to one of their drops one of their basic Pokemon onto the bench, it gets 20 damage, or well, 2 damage counters, but same thing more or less. So everybody comes in with 20 damage. That's okay, but Pokemon that started the game in play kind of don't care about this. And let's think about it this way. If we can get 20 damage here, then you've got this 160, that's 180. Here we've got 200. Now let's think about 220 with strong energy. If we can attach another one, that's 240, which takes out any Mega. And many Megas will fold at the 220 mark, which means that just by combining these elements, we can actually start KOing Megas. We're going to kind of do it in little bits and pieces, but what we're doing here is we're trying to set up some math. And it all depends on your opponent and what they're playing, of course, but you kind of see what I'm saying. We're trying to get setups here. And after all, this can be useful with Zangoose while we're powering up, and with this, we can deal 40 to the active Pokemon, so that'd be 40, potentially 60 here. Team Play, you could be dealing up to, let's see, that'd be 120 damage, so that's 120, and that would be 160, and this would be 180. So you can actually use your Team Magma Zangoose to go ahead and deal 180 damage right there for KO. And of course, a Zangoose that wants that many Pokemon on the bench plays very naturally with this Pokemon right here. So, what we're looking at is the foundation of a pretty cool Team Magma deck. So until next time, hit that like button down below, check out my channel, and I will see you next time.